I want to share with you a quick installment of Fiddle Magic. It's page 57 and it's called Broad Jump. So broad jump is the exercise that talks about, how to play 3-note chords or a triple stop. So a triple stop is when you play 3 strings at once, right? So traditionally we would play the bottom 2 notes, right, and then the top 2 notes. So the middle note is going to be repeated, right? So if you have a chord like right, so this is D, B, G, right? So if you play D and B and then B and G, right? So that's the traditional way to play that chord, and it's very like a romantic sound. It's a very strong sound, and you probably would not hear that very often or not at all in Baroque music. But there's also a way to play them all simultaneously. My students often ask me, can you play 4 strings at once? And the answer is no. Unless your horsehair falls off and then you curve the horsehair and you play all 4 strings at once because it curves. But with your bow, there's no way to play 4 notes, but there is a way to play 3 notes. And it's literally simultaneously. Let's see what Sally O'Reilly says. It says, set the bow firmly on the A string, press and pull bow quickly. Now, I generally, 95% of the time, I really like her explanations, but I usually tweak it to my way. So this is another great, reference to the 3 elements of tone production. It's in my tone production video and many other like tone coloration video and things like that, contact point and stuff. But basically, you need to consider the 3 elements of tone production. So we have bow weight, bow speed, contact point. So bow weight has to be very heavy because we actually need to sort of press the strings so that instead of having the strings be a bit, offset because of the shape of the bridge, they're a bit in this curved, lined up in a curve. We need to line them up straight. So we're going to need to press them down so that the higher string comes down and kind of gets in a row, right, with the other strings. So bow weight, bow speed. So bow speed, I'll talk about that last. Contact point, we can't get the strings to line up in a straight plane if we're near the bridge, because the bridge is right there, and obviously the bridge kind of spreads out the strings and makes it kind of arch like that, right? So we have to go to the other side. Now, if we're putting a lot of bow weight, right, because we have to kind of press the strings together, and we are using the fingerboard area, right, then it's going to sound pretty ugly, right? We can kind of tell. It's not going to be good. But the key ingredient is now the bow speed. So you guessed it, right? It's not slow bow, it's fast bow. We need an incredible fast bow. There are 3 elements, right? So typically 2 of them are sort of predictable, maybe, right? But then maybe the 3rd one is a surprise. So it kind of depends on what you're working with. So yes, there is a way to press very, very hard, put a lot of bow pressure, bow weight on highway 5 or 6 or 7, right? You can get way in the fingerboard area, but it's not going to be ugly if you have a fast bow speed. So you can kind of, maneuver through these 3 elements and get the sound that you want. Okay, so I'll prove it to you. I'm going to go ahead and press really hard, right? Put a lot of pressure. Start with pressure on, right? I can see that my horsehair is touching all 3 strings, like the 3 upper strings. I put my finger in place, and then I just keep it nice and deep, and I just pull fast. So do you see that? And there's a fermata and a rest, so then we get ready. Okay, you can hear all 3 members of the chord, right? Listen carefully. Okay, so if you sort of hesitate and you're not fully committed, it might sound like this. So there might be a little bit of this, grubby sound at the beginning, especially because the beginning is scary, right? So just, be brave, put tons of pressure on. It has to be a lot of pressure, and it has to be very, very fast. And it has to be away from the bridge, right? So that we can have all three of these elements working together as a team. And then you're going to get that sound. So anytime you're playing your solo piece and it's quite loud, and you can, you have plenty of bow, so you can spend a lot of bow and use a lot of bow speed, you can do this. You can play 3 notes at once. All right, so let me see. There's an example in the Sights concertos. So I think it's the second one in Suzuki Book 4. I hope you heard that. I did this one, instead of breaking it like that, da da, right? I just went, which is actually really fitting because it's a 8th note on that one, and then the last one I played is a quarter note. So it sounds nice to have a short, long. It sounds really stylistic. So anyway, hope you like that. It's out of Fiddle Magic, but you can just practice it on your own. All these Fiddle Magic things, I'm showing you little bits from the book, but really these are basics that you can just practice even without having the book. So I hope you enjoy these.